Might as well finances are top of mind for a lot of voters. And that report from the American Psychological Association, the number 2 thing that is stressing people out this election is the economy. And the results of the election will have a huge impact on our country's finances. So here to talk more about that is finance expert and founder of Mitlin Financial, Lawrence Sprung. So welcome to New York Living. I'm going to call you Larry since that's how we introduced ourselves earlier. So a lot of folks are going to be watching the markets today and tomorrow. So how do the election results actually affect the markets?
In the long term, not so much, right? But here in the moment, when there's uncertainty around what's going to be happening in the coming hours, right? There's some uncertainty about what's going on. So the markets may react to that, and we may see some gyrations in the markets as a result. But ultimately, if you look at the statistics, it really doesn't matter Republican or Democrat. We all have our druthers in terms of how we want that to end up. But in the end, markets will move forward, and typically we see positive returns in either party taking the helm as president.
Now, why do you think that folks are so targeted on just laser focused on the economy?
I think it's been a troubling last 4 or 5 years. We've had a lot going on. We've gone through a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. We've seen interest rates go sky high. We've seen interest rates, inflation and interest rates go sky high. And people are feeling pressure. So, you know, they haven't felt that great over the last 4 years, although the market's done pretty well over the last 4 or 5 years. But that uncertainty and those troubling situations that we've experienced have certainly put pressure on people that they're feeling, you know, like there has to be something better.
Yeah, and this is all age ranges of voting Americans. And so in a survey from Monarch Money, there's nearly a quarter of millennials and Gen Zers. They're actually delaying major purchases right now. Do you think that that's a wise decision? Or are they overreacting?
I mean, with large purchases, typically you have to borrow to make those large purchases.
Yeah.
And interest rates being at all-time highs up until September when we saw the rate cut, it might make sense to delay it because I think that the economy is showing us and the Fed is showing us that we're probably going to be looking at lower interest rates going forward. So if that's the case, it makes sense to delay some of those bigger purchases.
Okay, so they're making a smart decision.
It looks that way.
At least we're thinking right now. How do we avoid, though, this overreaction, though?
Yeah, I think the important thing is it always is rooted in planning. If you have a game plan where you understand what your goals are, your risk profile, and your time horizon, and you have that plan in place, that can weather all storms. So when events take place that there might be uncertainty, you're not scrambling thinking that you need to make a decision today that may be costly to you in the long run. So if you have that plan and you're ready to go, typically you're able to weather these types of uncertain storms.
I'm sure you have a lot of friends, though, that turn to you and say, you know, whether they're freaking out or maybe they're calm. For those that are in panic mode right now, how do you calm their concerns?
Well, I asked them if they have a plan. And, you know, in many cases, those people who are panicking don't have a concrete plan on what they were doing, really. It was more of an investment. They were more traders looking for opportunities to buy and sell. They're not necessarily investors. And really, those people that are panicking and feeling the most angst are those people that don't or haven't had a plan in place for a very long time. And now is an important time. You should relook at that and get one in place for the next event.
But what if they say, you know, I'm not an expert. I don't know the best way to make a plan. Do they turn to someone like a financial expert or financial planner?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly do it on your own if you think you have the tools and the ability to do it. But if you don't, I would highly suggest reaching out to, I would recommend a fiduciary financial advisor, somebody who acts as a fiduciary, and reach out to them and get some advice and guidance, even if it's just to reconfirm that what you're doing is right. And if not, you know, there might be minor tweaks, minor adjustments sometimes lead to major improvements.
What about our financial portfolios? When do we take action on those?
Yeah, so you don't want to be taking action on those during times of uncertainty and strife. You want to be prepared for those events by having a fully diversified portfolio and the plan to weather those storms. When you should be looking to make changes are when you're getting closer to retirement a major life event, maybe having a child or getting married, something that triggers you to relook at your game plan to see if there are changes. You don't want to be making changes in the midst of what's going on in the moment, because typically it leads to bad results.
All right, Larry, thanks so much for all your advice. Really important information.
Thank you, Hazel.